Okay, so it's 6:20. I just woke up like an hour ago. I wake up usually at 5 every single day, but yesterday I slept in quite late at like 10. So I woke up at like 5:10, but I still was pretty close to my normal waking up. So I just want to talk about this where you mess up some days and what do you do on these days where you like go to bed late and the next day you can't wake up in time, or like you don't want to do certain things. Because today I woke up, my morning routine is like usually waking up and doing some push-ups, getting outside, then brushing my teeth, then taking a cold shower and dressing up. That's my usual morning routine. I do that every single day. But today, man, especially the push-ups and the cold shower, I did not feel like doing those at all. But I still did them. I have this mindset where like say things in my head, do it now, let's go. Don't think about it, just do it. In the cold shower, I have like a thing where I do that I try to completely clear out my mind. I try to have no thoughts in my head. Just walk in the cold shower, no thoughts in my head, just press the button, and when it begins, when the cold shower actually begins, then from that point it's much easier. Because I feel like with the cold shower, the hardest thing is actually stepping in there, actually like the first like 1 or 2 seconds when the cold water hits you, that shock. That is the hardest part of it, in my opinion. And staying there is not that difficult. Of course, it's not pleasant, but yeah, I did that for like 1 or 1.5 minutes. I usually do the cold shower. I try to wash myself, all my body, and yeah. So I woke up and yeah, man. A lot of people mess up on these days. They like go to bed late at like 10 and they decide like, oh, it's I need to get some sleep and I need to get more sleep, so I just wake up at 7 the next day. But I'm telling you guys from personal experience, you do not want to do that. You do not want to do that, because that way you will completely abandon your daily routine, because you will mess up completely your daily routine if you have one. And yeah, that's just not good for you overall, because your brain does not really work like that. You can't just really go to sleep at like 8 and 10 and then wake up at different time also. So your brain has like a certain time and a certain time, so like a certain time when you go to sleep and a certain time when you wake up. And if you go at that time consistently, then you will feel energized, you will feel good, you will feel a lot better. But if you switch up that time constantly, you switch up this time constantly, then you will feel like shit, you will have no energy, your sleep quality will be whack, it will be completely bad. And yeah, you do not want to do that. If you already went to bed late, then at least have the wake up time right, so you can get back to your routine. So that's very important, and in my opinion, you should do the hard work. You should be disciplined when it's hard, because when it's hard, you actually develop like let's say that discipline is like a skill. Like imagine you like you are in a video game and you have like skills like attack, stamina, all this shit. And I used to be a very big video game addict, by the way. That's why I know a lot about them. But let's say attack is like level 0. Let's say attack is discipline. So discipline skill. How do you level this up? So you do hard things when you don't feel like it. So do the hard thing, it goes up. Do the hard thing, it goes up. But when something is easy, when you're like in a good mood and you do the hard skill, it doesn't go up as much, or perhaps it doesn't even go up at all. But when it's hard, you're at like level 1. When it's hard, then it just goes up to level 3 instantly, because it took you so much more effort to do that hard task. Because if it's hard to do it in the moment, then that means that you will get more out of it later on. Because you have to understand that life and dopamine and all this works like a pendulum or a pendulum. I don't know how to pronounce it, but like basically, if it goes up, it has to go down. If you stay in bed, if you experience the pleasure, then your pleasure goes up in the moment, so it goes up. Then you realize that you have to get out essentially, so that it's still up a bit, but then you get up and it goes down, it goes below base. This is baseline, it goes below baseline, and it's very bad, bro. That is the moments where you will end up feeling depressed. This is the moments where most people get depression. They don't realize this, that 1 or 2 hours of watching video games, or sorry, playing video games, watching TikTok, IG, eating junk food whilst doing it. If you do that 1 or 2 hours in your morning routine, or let's say after you wake up, or just or just in the morning, if you do that, then your rest of the day will be a complete mess, bro. Because your dopamine levels will be all fried, it will be all below baseline, way below baseline. Because you have to imagine it like this. So you start the day, your dopamine levels are like normal. You eat junk food, you play video games, you watch TikTok reels. It goes through the roof. You feel amazing. It feels so good, right? But then it goes down and stays down for hours and hours. It stays down, and then in those hours when it's down, and it's going to be down for like 4 or 5 hours at least. If you just keep on doing that, or if you try to do something productive, when it's down, you can't really do anything of significance. Because if you want to do some heavy work, like some very important things, then you will not feel like it, because your life does not work like that. Everybody is talking about, I want to be happy all the time, but people don't realize that happiness all the time is just simply impossible, because you have to have ups and downs. So happiness all the time is just impossible. But a way that you can actually experience some kind of happiness is if you do what is called dopamine loading, which is like quite the opposite of this instant gratification, just consuming as much pleasurable things in the start of the day. Like in this dopamine loading thing, you wake up, you do not do anything that is stimulating you in the first like 5 or 6 hours, so your dopamine levels will be like around here, not below baseline, around here. And then when you do something that is slightly fun, then it goes up. And if that is a bad thing, then of course it will go down a bit eventually. But when it goes down, it will not go down as much, because you have done so much of these normal activities throughout the day. And by the way, this normal activity, like if you have some work that you actually like doing, it's actually quite fun. A lot of people talk that this is like a depressing life to live, but if the first like 5 or 6 hours of your life is like normal and like normal dopamine levels, but the work you are doing is quite fun, it's enjoyable work, it's purposeful work, then that's fun, man. That you have a great life. But if the work you are doing is like school work and you don't like it, or just like any work that you don't like doing because you don't feel like it's actually that valuable, then of course you will not want to do that. But you just have to find work that is valuable, or if you have some work, then you have to find a reason to do it. Your why is very important. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to do that work? If you have a strong reason why you are doing it, then it will be much easier, man. I promise you that. So dopamine loading is basically like you have this basic still throughout all day. Like let's say you wake up at 8 and you are in this phase of like natural dopamine energy until like 6, and then from 6 to like 8 to 9 you do some pleasurable things, like you watch some videos, you eat perhaps maybe a little bit tastier food, you do some things that increase your dopamine level, then it goes up. But since it's the end of the night, it doesn't really matter, because you are going to sleep, and sleep is like a resetting factor for your dopamine levels. So it's not like you can just do as much pleasurable activities before sleeping and then still go to bed fine. It doesn't work like that, because you still need to have like a certain level of stillness and peacefulness before going to bed for you to actually have a good night of sleep. But if you want to do something that is very fun or pleasurable, make sure to do it at like the end of the day. Not like at the complete end before you go to sleep, but more like at the end. Because if you do it in the beginning, it will mess up your whole day. So you do not want to do that. I am talking from experience, by the way. And yeah, please do not be afraid to do the hard work. Do not be afraid to just do what it takes, do what is required every single day, because I feel like a lot of people set themselves up for something, like they say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but then they do it for a few days and they stop. They stop. So what could be the reason for most people stopping? Well, in my opinion, it's because a very big reason actually because they don't have anybody to hold them accountable. Like if you start with somebody, if there's two people and they both they both set a goal and they both want it very badly, then they are going to hold each other accountable. They are going to push each other to be even better. So if you don't have a friend, then what can you do? You can either do it by yourself, or you can try to like hire a mentor or hire a coach or somebody online that you can talk to. That's very important. But yeah, you can try it for yourself. I tried it for myself. I had mentors, I had coaches in the past, and I've learned a lot from them. I do not regret doing them at all. But yeah, you can try to do it by yourself, and you can do it just fine. A lot of people do it just fine by themselves, but if you are going to do this by yourself, then just realize that having like big drawbacks, big moments where you don't feel like doing anything, you don't have motivation, that is completely normal. That is part of the process. So if you want it the longer way and you want to have more like ups and downs and that, then you can do it by yourself. But if you want it the shorter way, then you can do it by a coach or by a mentor or like a friend that can keep you accountable. It's very good to have somebody on your side, because humans are very like social creatures, and you need to have somebody to like hold you accountable, because it's very important. So yeah, that's it for this video. I feel like I wanted to get this off my chest because I was thinking about this all morning, of like how to develop discipline, about dopamine, how to actually achieve your goals. And yeah, just remember that when you have a strong purpose, a strong goal, everything becomes so much easier, because the motivation and the drive you will have will be so much more. But even then, when you have a strong goal, even then some days you will not feel like it. Today was a day where I did not feel like it, but I still got out of bed, I still did my morning routine, I did what I needed to do. So let's go, we are here. Thank you, man, for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking your time and watching this video. I hope you learned something. And yeah, bless you, God bless you, man, and see you next time.